national anthem and all of them something to. And why do it now?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to USC Aiken and the Pacer Pit for today's Peach Belt Conference men's soccer match between the Flagler Saints and your USC Aiken Pacers. Let's meet the starting lineups for today's match. First, for the visiting Saints. Starting in goal, number 1, Lex Cragg. Number 2, Owen Highland. Number 7, Oscar Davidson. Number 8, Pedro Silva. Number 10, Johnny Cosgrove. Number 13, Caleb Austin. Number 14, Erlen Lofsgaard. Number 16, Juan Membrano. Number 19, Eamon Moore. Number 21, Jackie Kay. And number 23, Marco Warren. Flagler is coached by John Lynch with assistance from Delmer Vagovich. And now let's meet the starters for your USC Aiken Pacers. Starting between the pipes, a freshman, number 1, Andre Bernardini. Number 2, a senior, Dean Smith. A junior, number 5, Adria Dalmu. Number 6 is a sophomore, Ryan Dwyer. Number 7 is a junior, Nathan Shanko. A senior, number 8, Gabriel Loker. A sophomore is number 10, Andre Simmond. Number 12 is also a sophomore, he's Patrick Wiederman. Number 20 is a junior, Rodrigo Goncalves. A senior is number 22, Gerald Smalls. And a junior, number 25, Dave Stone. USC Aiken is coached by Ike Afoji with assistance from Eugene Ishun Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise and men remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
It's a real country, man. Look at the dogs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Pacer Pit for the second live action here today. Here you hear the chants of the Flagler Saints for the men's, all rattled up. Maybe they'll be silenced by this USC Aiken men's team that, to our right in white, is very composed and are ready to get the job done. We just recently heard the starting lineups for both teams. And I'm Noel Mays, and I'm joined today by Waynford Preddy as we will provide live broadcast for this, which promises to be a very entertaining game. What say you, Wayne?
Well, these teams look real dedicated, starting from their last previous games. So tonight will be a very good matchup by the USC Aiken and Flagler team.
Yeah, here we see the um, introduction. Well, not introduction. He came on briefly in the last game against Lando, Rodrigo Goncalves. Um, Pretty influential player win, and he's back. He's back from
Most definitely.
yeah. His leg was recently in a cast, and it's now out. And he's starting today. He came on in the last game.
I've heard words that he is fit and ready as the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he was training very hard along with Neda Faki, ensuring that their bodies are physically able to withstand anything that's thrown against them. And here we see the Pacers calmly winning possession. And there we see Johnny. I believe we played against them last season, and he was the one, I believe, who scored the goal, the consolation goal, as they were defeated by USC Aiken 2 goals to 1. And
And
here we have the first free kick. There we see the player down holding his knee, his left knee. He seems to be in agony, Wayne.
most
Um,
definitely.
yeah,
Didn't seems like it should hurt that bad, but he seems to be hurting.
yeah, I'm not certain what happened there. Maybe he was nudged on the knee and we weren't able to see it. The trainer is not coming on at the moment for Flagler. She's waiting on further instructions as he stands to his feet. And there we see number 14 back to his feet.
Walking it off.
Yeah, that's good to see, Wayne. Not, you won't want to see players getting injured.
Knowing that we're not even in the middle of the season as yet, they have a long way to go.
That is true. And there in the middle of the field as well for Flagler is their number 23, who is back.
There, Dean Smith goes for the header.
There, Flagler leading the charge, trying to pressure the back line of Aiken as much as possible. The ball goes out
And
and
it's
thrown for Goncalves.
Easily taken down by Adria. And another throw in. Don Carves would also take this throw.
And last year, the Flagler Saints were missing Marco Warren from their starting 11. Dave Stone there with the header. Travels out for a throw-in to the Saints. And Dave Stone replacing Sandre Duncan, who has been a stalwart in the defense last season and has not found his own. He was recovering from a groin injury and has not fully recovered, and he is placed on the bench today. Hopefully we will see him at some point. And Jordan
Also, it's
Missouri.
Jordan, Missouri.
Yeah, he's
He has
back,
been
but
out.
he hasn't made it back to the starting 11 as yet, but he is currently on the bench. Dean Smith comes, and that's a
Goal kick.
shot that won't phase Bernardini in goal. First goal kick of the night. And here we see the atmosphere being favored for an entertaining game of soccer as the sun is beginning to set.
Coaches look really relaxed at this moment also. Playing
Yeah,
a manager role more than a coach's role.
yeah, the game just started and both teams just feeling each other out at the moment. Dean Smith with an unusual header, not that good. Gabriel Locho able to pick the ball up, and the ball eventually breaks for the Saints. And
Yeah,
Rodrigo
what a great
Goncalves done well.
challenge.
And Joel will pressure. The goalkeeper plays the ball out, only as far as Adria Dalmau, who plays it out for a throw-in for the Saints, just over their half, close to the halfway line. Ball thrown back. And here we see Nathan Shanko coming across. Ball eventually getting to Dave Stone. Dave Stone plays it long. Header one in the middle of the park, picked up by Marco. Marco plays it back to number 19. Gives it, and Flagler here is spreading the ball beautifully at the moment. And Goncalves comes in, wins the ball. One time pass by Gabriel Locho. Goncalves will get there, still Goncalves. He passes it to Locho. Locho skips inside, still Locho. And Locho should have gone down there on the edge of the 18, but tried to maintain his footing, and eventually the ball was won, and the Pacers
Dean
getting
Smith
settled.
moving forward.
And bad pass there by Smith in the middle of the park. Flagler is able to break. Good challenge there by Dalmau. The ball eventually played out of the Saints player by Goncalves. And here we see Goncalves, a much more calm, stable, skillful wingback, has much more ability to go forward than the usual player at wingback. We will see the difference he makes, and if Jordan Missouri was to enter the game, we would see what he also brings to the table. Strong challenges there. And here we see, well done by Dave Stone to intercept. The ball comes to Randor. Another calm wing back, very skillful. And then the ball eventually going out of Nathan Shanko. Ball thrown in. Header won by the Saints. And Dean Smith has been misjudging his headers so far today, as we see his header, the ball traveling over his head. And skillfully done in the middle of the park. Number 19 skips past Simmons. And the first foul called as Nathan Shanko won the ball legally, but he was illegally tackled prior to that by Andre Simmons. We haven't seen Andre on the ball as yet, Wainford.
No, definitely. I think he's just waiting for his moment to show what he has. He's that type of player who is not very rushed in the game. He takes his time and do what is necessary at the moments that he get a chance to do so.
Yeah, that is true. Quick break there by Bernardini, and Gabriel Locho will come forward. Locho, still Locho, plays it to Simmons.
On the line.
Yeah, his first real touch. Beautiful ball into Smalls, but Smalls unable to get there. Not as quick. Nathan Shanko tracking back, and there we see one-touch passes between the Saints. Well done there by Shanko. Ball eventually going out for a Saints throw-in. Ball thrown in. One time back to him, played down the flank, and Stone will get there first. Stones clears, and ball beautifully flicked by, and beautiful skill there by Andre Simmons, and Shanko is eventually fouled. And free kick, the first free kick to the Pacers. Ball spot, Simmons looking, floats it, plays in the space for Joel Smalls. Joel Smalls has space, floats it in, and the ball comes across. Simmons latches on, Simmons challenged, and the ball eventually breaking out. Dean Smith with the shot, and untroubled is the goalkeeper in goal. And here we see both teams getting more composed, the ball being settled a little bit.
That seems more like a test shot from Dean Smith, which is very good at this time in the game, to see what how the goalkeeper holds his own in the goal.
Yeah, that is true. And beautiful footwork there by Locho. Locho to Goncalves to, and the effort at the nutmeg there by Simmons. And Simmons with his second foul of the game so far, trying to be fancy on his skill. His move was not executed perfectly. He eventually gave away the foul. There we see Bernardini in goal, shouting instructions to his players. And Saints will go back to their goalkeeper, play it all the way to the near side of the field. He's being pressured by Shanko. Ball played over. Stone will see to it that he gets there. Miscommunication there between Stone and Bernardini, as the second closest player to that ball was definitely Bernardini, but either he wasn't heard by Stone. Beautifully won that back by Shanko. Shanko breaks. Shanko plays to Smalls into space. Smalls will give chase. And number 21 will go back to his goalkeeper, who eventually clears. Ball controlled by Shanko. Shanko plays it to Simmons. Simmons floats a ball over to Shanko. Shanko on the ball. Shanko tries to skip past. Shanko, still Shanko. Beats his defender once, twice. Shanko on the ball again, plays the ball to Simmons. Simmons is inside the 18-yard box, and he will settle for the corner kick. And beautiful play there. The Pacers showing that they have fancy footwork, very skillful play there between Simmons and Shanko. Corner kick to be taken by Bernardini. Floated to the near post to Shanko. Shanko unable to keep the ball under control. Comes to Dave Stone. Dave Stone will go all the way back to Bernardini. Bernardini will pick a pass, get his team back up. Long drive by Bernardini in the center of the park. Eventually, the ball will fall to Dalmau, to Goncalves. Goncalves loses out. The ball played back in the center of the park. Dean Smith trying to give chase. The Saints will play the ball back to half field. Saints still pressuring. Beautiful try there. And it will be a Pacers throw-in. Ryan Dwyer to take. Dwyer trying to find a pass. Throws the ball to the feet of Shanko. Shanko tries to place it to Dalmau. Ball unable to get there. Shanko giving chase. I apologize. Ball breaks to number 8. And Goncalves there with a beautiful interception. Plays the ball to Shanko, and it's a bit overhit. And that was a beautiful play there by Rodrigo Goncalves. Great tackle. If they would have been in if Goncalves was not there. And here we see the shape of the USC Aiken defense having a lot more stability than the matches we have seen previously. Dwyer to Simmons. Simmons turns. Still Simmons. Skips past 3 defenders. Still going is Simmons. Eventually Simmons is fouled by the 4th player. Very skillful work there by Simmons. Stamping his class on this game at the moment.
As I said, Andre Simmons tends to sit back until it's his time to do what he does. And he seems to be showing that as the game progresses. As he takes a free kick, looks like he's ready to float it in the box. And there he goes.
Yeah, beautifully floated in, but it finds the head of our Flagler player. Number 8 trying to break. Weatherman will intercept and boots the ball clear to Dalmau. Dalmau loses out on that header. And here we see Gerald Smalls giving chase, helping
into the midfield
out his players in Gabriel Locha and Rodrigo Goncalves. Good work there by Gerald Smalls, ensuring that his backline is helped out. Short free kick there by the Saints. They will play the ball around their backline.
And they have been spreading the ball beautifully as he goes for a long ball to the far corner.
And there we see Stone able to recover there. And the ball will eventually go out for a throw-in. Ball thrown in the middle of the park. He tries to turn. Number 16 plays it back to 2. 2 cuts inside, plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper.
As you could see, the whole field takes this moment to spread generously as Aiken progresses again forward.
Yeah,
Don Calves back on the ball. 1-2 passes for USC Aiken.
and there we see the final pass intended for Goncalves, not reaching him from Dean Smith. The goalkeeper of the Saints pushing his team up, drops the ball, comes up, cheats and steals a little more ground, allowing his spot kick to go further forward. Header there, won by the Saints. Dean will give chase, tries to keep it in, but well done by Stone to ensure that Warren is unable to keep that ball into play.
On the right corner here, USC Aiken has a few players warming up for possible substitution. In this warm-up, there's Jordan, who looks like he's really ready for the game.
Yeah, that anchor there of his seems to not be phasing him at the moment.
Also is Nada, who we all know has worked very hard and is a
Beautiful
great player.
flick there by Joel Smalls to Nathan Shanko. Nathan Shanko
Oh,
goes
and
into
it's
the
a
box,
foul.
and that And play on, waves the referee, no foul and a goal kick given. Unbelievable.
As we see USC Aiken coach Ike is raising to his feet.
And there, that was an obvious penalty, but not given by the man in the middle. And there we see a penalty not given to the Pacers. Nathan Shanko doing really well from that ball off Jarrell Smalls. Smalls does beautifully, keeps the ball up, plays it back to Rand Dwyer. Rand Dwyer floats it to Shanko. Smith in the middle of the park. Smith plays it to Dalmau. Dalmau all the way to Goncalves, to Locho. Locho plays it to Goncalves. Goncalves squares.
Oh,
And
great
and
square.
that was a shot in
Shot
the
or
end.
square, but it's a great
But
ball.
the goalkeeper dealt with it. And the ball won by Shanko. Shanko to Locho. Locho in the middle of the park plays it towards Simmons, but Simmons not able to latch on to the end of that pass. And here we see the Saints having to deal with numerous pressure from the Pacers. Ball floated over. Goncalves. Oh, and Weatherman, who seems to have it covered. Header. And not often you will see such a small player winning an aerial battle. And here we see the Saints holding on, holding their own in this game. There we see Dalmau challenging Warren. Pass intercepted by Goncalves, who is fouled. And what do you think of the officiating thus far in this game?
Well, we've seen a penalty that most viewers seems to be a penalty, but not the same decision by the man in the middle.
That was a clear penalty. Bad call there by the referee, but he has been pretty consistent apart from that, to be honest. Gerald Smalls trying to latch on to this ball. Still Smalls. Smalls turns. Smalls shoots, squares the ball across, and that's the second corner kick of the game for the USC Aiken Pacers. Ball to be floating over. Locho. Locho turns. Till Locho. And another challenge ball driven across.
And which is a third corner for the USC Aiken.
And the Pacers piling on the pressure, trying to have their first conference win of the Peach Belt season. Ball floated off over beautifully. The keeper does well and gets there first. The Saints will break, and Nathan Shanko recovers excellently.
With a great tackle at the end, forcing.
Yeah, blocking that pass forward there. Ball thrown into play. Dwyer missing out on the header, but there we see Stone winning that header. And there have been a few missed headers here by the Pacers so far in this game. Here we saw Dean Smith unusually missing out on a few headers. And there the Pacers have their throw-in. That should be taken by Ryan Dwyer. Ryan Dwyer going to where the referee indicates it should be taken from. Dwyer. And Simmons there giving the ball away and almost being stripped and able to recover. I guess number 10 there couldn't believe that he was able to receive that ball, I believe. Ball played by Goncalves to Simmons. Simmons plays inside to Smith. Smith back to Simmons. Simmons turns. Simmons chips it to Locha. Locha back to Simmons. Beautiful play here, and the final pass intended for Smalls was not picked up on. But beautiful play there. The players in Smalls and Simmons not on the same wavelength that time. Weatherman will intercept that play and he boots it into the woods. A phrase coined or believed to be coined by USC Aiken players by head coach Aiko Foji, who is joined today by both Mike and Eugene as assistant coaches. There we see number 19 running forward, giving the Saints height advantage. Ball floated in. Bernardini comes, and Bernardini, I'm not sure what happened between both himself and Schenko. Beautifully done by Schenko. Schenko to Shanko. Shanko tries to find Schenko, but eventually played towards him by Smith. Ball back to Smith. And Smith isn't on his game at the moment. Weatherman beaten twice. Ball played in, beautifully played in. And the ball will not see the back of the Pacers net. And
Saved by Calves.
And a lot of this organization there in the back line of the Pacers as
Calves seems to be injured, also with a pacer.
no, it seems to be Bernardini who is down, the goalkeeper, and Warren of the Saints. Here we see the head coaches of the Saint and the Pacers having a fun word, having a beautiful handshake. Nice to see the friendship there between the competitors playing a similar like a game of chess, using their best players to try to defeat each other. Bernardini is still down, but Warren is to his feet. There we see Owain getting his instructions to get warm. And Bernardini is now back to his feet. I guess some sort of fair play will be enforced. And folks, Bernardini is back into play and we resume live action here at the Pacer Pit. Ball cleared there towards Weatherman. Weatherman will see the ball out for a throw in to the Saints. Owen there, what's up, getting instructions from Coach Aiko Foji.
Here we're getting some live feedback all the way from Trinidad. Sanka, an ex-player of the USC Aiken, saying he's previously enjoying the game.
And beautiful pile there by Andre Simmons. Ball eventually received by Shanko.
Played it all the way wide for Dialves.
And as you said, the former player Jurgen Williams, also known as Sanka, loved and adored by all. Gabriel Lotcher almost skipping past several players there to try to poke the ball in the back of the net. Ball played into Johnny. Ball seems to have gone out, and so says the referee, as the entire ball seems to have crossed the line. The linesman gives the throw in to the Pacers.
And here comes number 28, Wayne, replacing Ryan.
Away in Wassop. He started the last game, I believe, at home, and he came on as a substitute in the away game against Lander. Number 16 does well. Still, number 16 plays it to number 23, Warren. Warren tries a bit of quick, tricky footwork, unable to get past Dalmau. Lotcher eventually wins the ball. Lotcher clears, but only as far as number 13. Number 13 tries to go past Dalmau, unable to do so. And here we see number 19 eventually kicking the ball towards the woods. The ball not getting as far this time. Ball to Weatherman. Weatherman will play the ball long. And it's good way to hear former players of USC Aiken tuning into the game. Jurgen, who played for Iko Fuji for 4 years, finished his last season on a high, being part of the most successful team that USC Aiken has ever had. This team trying to go a step further and not just enter the not only enter the conference tournament, but actually go steps further than the team last year. Could have, but did not go. Free kick to Dean Smith, almost directly on the halfway line to the far side of the field. Smith floats it in, driven in actually, towards Lotcher. Still Lotcher. Lotcher drives it across, and the ball goes over the top of the goal. Lotcher should have just driven that towards goal, Wayne, as that would have given the keeper some trouble rather than trying to square the ball across.
But he seems to be just a little off balance. Well done by the defender who kept him in that way.
Yeah, that is true. Ball cleared. Shanko headed towards Wassop. Claim for a handball, but not given. The ball was in an unnatural position, but the handball was not given against Wassop, since the referee saw it as him being unable to get his hand out of the way in time. And there we see the Saints seem to be a little bit nervous, as Shanko clearly fell. Oh, beautifully done by Shanko. Skips past one. Still Shanko. Skips past two. Skips past one more. Simmons does the same. Still Simmons. Still Simmons. Still Simmons. Simmons goes forward. Simmons rocks, plats. Still Simmons into the box. And eventually poked away. Beautiful footwork by Simmons. And Simmons eventually gives away a foul. And that's a third free kick on Simmons. And Simmons could be booked if he keeps this up. There you see the coach of Flagler protesting on exactly what I just said, as Simmons that's his third foul, I believe, and he could be cautioned for consistency. But referees, however, fail to give skillful players yellow cards, as they are normally the ones receiving the assaults and not the one dishing out. Ball thrown into Shanko. That seems to be a foul throw. The ball eventually played out for a throw into the Saints. Ball thrown into number 10, played off his own player. Dalmau will get there first, played towards Smalls. And Dalmau does well to get there. Dalmau, Wassop, and gave their turns out. Nathan, make the run, Nathan! Jesus Christ, what a man loves stand up. Simmons to Smalls. Smalls has Goncalves to his right, plays it to the far side. Still Goncalves. Goncalves dribbles. Goncalves still, and he has earned himself a goal kick.
And it's another thorn for the USC Aiken Pacers, taken by Don Calvis.
Oh, and here we have communication from all the way in Trinidad with Jurgen Williams asking me what plat means. And in Jamaica, plat means when you step over the ball, it's a crossover. So that should answer the questions for all the viewers. I apologize. So I'll try to increase that vocabulary a little bit. Simmons takes the ball under control. Still Simmons. Simmons does well and has Marco at his feet. And Marco there crawling on his face. Eventually winning the ball. So Simmons not receiving that usual roar from the crowd.
And
And
here
here,
come Dean Smith on the chase.
and it's number 2 versus number 2. The ball clearly out of play. He seems to, he wants to dribble on another field probably. Ball eventually played to Wassop. Wassop tries to come out. Wassop taking out Marco. And ball carefully chipped in. Dalmau. And Dalmau tried to cut the ball back into number 16. And here we see the Saints. And there we see Brett Smith, younger brother of Captain Dean Smith, receiving instructions to execute on the field from head coach Iko Fudgy. Ball played back to Simmons. Simmons will drive forward. Still Simmons. Simmons loses out. Simmons tries to win the ball back. And the ball is eventually played for a throw-in for the Saints, for the Pacers. Brett Smith being called on to be replacing Adria Dalmau. Adria recognizing that his number is up. There's no scoreboard, so I guess his name was called. We're getting there here at the Pacer Pit. Technology improving slowly but surely, thanks to athletic director Randy Warwick. Adria Dalmau is off.
And here goes Dean Smith to Gabriel Lucker
And
in a
back to
1-2
Dean
passes.
Smith. Oh,
And
through
there-
the legs there, and Dean Smith crosses
With the
it.
throw.
Oh, and Dean Smith almost assisting his younger brother, Brett Smith. That would have been remarkable. There we see the Smith brothers trying to have a link up. Squared in by Shanko. Shanko overhitting that one and eventually leading for a throw-in close to the corner flag of the Saints on the far side. The Pacers at the moment seems too hot to handle. Brett Smith plays a ball to Gerald Smalls. Smalls turns beautifully. Smalls shoots. And the shot is not as impressive as the cutback. But that was a beautiful pass there by Brett. And the USC Aiken, as I said, seems too hot to handle. But until that goal is scored, that separates these teams. We're still leveled at 0-0.
Drew Small seems to be real composed with the ball at his feet.
Yeah,
There's
very,
always magic to create or to look out for when the ball is at his feet.
very composed play and very strong individual as well. Gerald Smalls. Ball played, intercepted by Wassop. Wassop played the ball, but to someone in red. Picked up by, and beautiful turn there by Warren. Warren skips by his defender, plays it to number 14. 14 tries to go past Wassop, unable to do so. And here we see two changes being made. Number 14 being ejected and being replaced by number 6, and number 7 being replaced by number 9. As the players are both exiting the pitch, the throw-in will be taken. Long throw-in to be taken by a very long throw-in by number 6. The ball bounces inside the 18-yard box, eventually cleared by Goncalves. The threat is still there as the ball comes back in from number 13, eventually cleared again by Stone. And Dave Stone again clears the ball, but it picked up on edge of the 18. And here we see number 6 and touched out by Nathan Shanko. And the Saints seems to be piling the pressure on the Pacers at the moment. And number 6, as we have seen previously, has a very long throw. Jimmy Ware throws it in again, this time on the head of our Pacers, cleared by Locha. And Joel Smalls tries to keep the ball under control, away from 3 Saints defenders, unable to do so. And number 16 has the ball, plays the ball to Ware. Ware tries to go inside, but Brett Smith will have none of it. Clears the ball only as far as Jackie. Jackie will play the ball to the far side. Pressured by Locho. Towards Johnny. Johnny tries to maintain possession against Weatherman. And the ball is played in, and Dave Stone will definitely shield this one out for a goal kick. And the USC Aiken backline will get a chance to rest.
What do you think about the defensive line of USC Aiken with the exception of Sandre Duncan?
They haven't been making as much mistakes as they had made in the past. There seems to be improvement, and their speed that was absent with the introduction of Dave Stone playing centre back, as he's much quicker than both Weatherman and Duncan. That gives, and in the middle of the park by himself is Warren, plays it over to number 9. Number 9 plays it on the floor only as far as Smith. Smith tries to body off, and strong challenge there by number 9 on Locho. Dean Smith bodying both Warren and number 9 off the ball, eventually brought to the floor by both of them, and it's a free kick to the Pacers to be taken by Patrick Waterman. Weatherman switches it over to Wayne. Wayne looks, floats it into Smalls. Smalls controls it for Simmons. Simmons plays it to Goncalves. Goncalves tries to do well, but was unable to do so. And beautiful try there by the Pacers, but not properly executed that time around. Ball thrown in. Weatherman misses. And there we see a foul on Johnny. I wouldn't be surprised if a yellow card was brandished. The referee seems to be calling over Dave Stone to just have a word with him, but that was a bookable offense. However, the referee just has a word with the centre back and allows him to not have a caution to his name. With just under 10 minutes remaining in this game, it's 0-0 here at the Pacer Pit, as neither team has been able to break the deadlock. However, the Saints have a threatening free kick just outside the 18 at the far side of the field. Ball whipped in and unable to be cleared, but Weatherman definitely will break. And Weatherman being bodied off by number 6. And Weatherman still. Weatherman to Smalls. Smalls will try to go forward, but brought to a halt, and it's a throw-in to the Pacers. Wayne looking for an outlet. Plays it to Simmons. Simmons tries to play the ball to Smalls. Unable to get there. Weatherman will boot the ball clear, but deflected off number 10. Well done there by Nathan Shanko. And play allowed to continue. And there we see Dave Stone, who is not that technical. Recovers well though, Dave Stone, but the Pacers concede in a corner. there we see Dave Stone, not the most technical player win.
Most
Not
definite, but
as,
he also recovers greatly
yeah,
after
that,
that mistake,
yeah,
ensuring that there's not a cross on the counter by the Saints.
yeah, there we see the speed of Stone being brought into play. So head coach Iko Foji lost out with composure on the ball, but has made up for it in speed. And his work ethic is much, much, much higher than most of the players that are usually starting. To the near post, eventually headed away. Only as far as Warren. Warren plays it back all the way to number 2, who boots it to the far side. Goncalves underneath it. Goncalves will get there first. And Brett Smith won't challenge for that ball as it's throw-in for the Pacers with just under 7 minutes remaining in this game. It's 0-0. As stated earlier, still Jordan Missouri has not been introduced to this game.
He has been consistent with his warm-up also, showing coach that he is really ready to be put into the game to distribute his talent.
Yeah, Locha here surging forward. Still Locha. Still Locha. Plays it beautifully. Oh, and that pass is intercepted there by number 6. Keeper aware that he's not able to pick the ball up. Still Locha again. Still Locha. Great work rate by Locha. Shanko. Still Shanko, and he's no whistle blown. And still Shanko to Smalls. Smalls trying to turn, weave his way through. Brett Smith to Simmons. Simmons turns inside beautifully. Plays the ball to Smalls. Smalls whips it, cuts it back, and Shanko will see.
And there he
And
goes.
that's the first goal of the game, folks. As that was beautiful
There you
play
go.
there between Simmons, Smalls, and Shanko. Shanko there working hard, and tribute also given to Gabriel Locha.
From one side to the other, he did not give up, being consistent behind the ball, making sure that they get a result from that attack.
And there we see the hard work coming into play, and Nader Faki will be entering the game, and Joel Smalls will be taken off with that assist. So Joel Smalls with another assist to add to his tally, and Nathan Shanko again with that goal, who he has proven to be a very clinical goal scorer this season. Shanko, Wayne dismissed, but picked up by Simmons. Sure, he'll try to roll it through the legs, but unsuccessful. And Stone will boot the ball high, and the ball will go.
Seems like he was aiming for us, I should say.
Yeah, if he had been accurate enough, I'd have taken that ball down, showing them that I've not lost my touch as yet. Ball floated in. Weatherman under it with Johnny. Ball eventually going towards the corner flag of the Pacers. Goncalves will try to break, and he's stopped in his tracks by number 9, throwing to the Pacers.
As this goal will be very clinical to the game. At the last 5 minutes, goal by Nathan Shenko, assist by Drew Smalls.
And here we see number 5, who I believe he told me earlier he's from Trinidad and Tobago, entering the game along with number 17. His origin unknown. Maybe he's American, maybe he's international. Ball played to Faki. Faki unable to keep it in, and it's a goal kick, number 11 as well, lining up to come in for the Saints. So there we see number 5, Kieran Matthews, number 12, Samba Diop, and number 11 on as well in Simeon Wiki.
Coach John Lynch seems to be making decisions at the last minute so he could maybe get his team to a 1-1 draw before the second half. He
He,
seems to have a book looking like his drawing board there.
yeah, seems to be taking stats and trying to formulate plays to counteract. Because at the moment, Iko Fudgy is winning this battle of managers at the moment. Pressured there, by Matthews was Goncalves. Ball played out for USC Aiken through. Goncalves to throw the ball in, trying to find an outlet, saying he's going long, but instead goes to Simmons. Simmons does well, turns number 11, being fouled, and the whistle is blown. The linesman waved his flag, and
With
here we
only 3 minutes left in this half, USA Aiken seems very composed, in no rush to get this play off, as it will be a free kick by Andre Simmons into the box.
yes, this USC Aiken team is still not playing to their potential. However, it's night and day between what we saw last game at Lander, between that team and this one. They seem to not be phased by the lack of ability to train due to the weather on Simmons there
And great footwork by
teaching.
Simmons.
Yeah, I think he's teaching number 11 how to keep his eye on the ball, moving it from side to side. Ball thrown to Simmons. Simmons flicks it on, and handball could have been given, but the referee remained inconsistent as the handball was not given against USC Aiken Pacers, with the handball on Wassop earlier in the game, keeping it fair and not giving that as a penalty either, and that would have been a soft penalty, to be honest. Simmons having the throw-in, and the last play was off Simmons, and the throw-in is won by the Saints. And here we're joining the press box by women's soccer stalwart Heaven Ty Lee, here to watch the game with us. Had a very hard fought game earlier. There we see Brett Smith limping on the far side, not wanting to hold up play despite his advantage, just hops off the field. And there we see Candy for the first time during the men's game. We saw her once in the women's game with Hazel Kelly. Now she's there running over to assist Brett Smith. And here we see number 15, Billy Jones, warming up to enter this game for the first time today. And he will enter the game in replacement for Brett Smith, who is currently on the floor. Seems to be in a little bit of agony, but I believe he'll be okay. He was able to get up and hop off the field, so he should be fine. We're waiting to see him stand to his feet. And booted for a throw-in was Goncalves. And here we see the difference that Rodrigo Goncalves had made to this USC Aiken team. The team looks totally different from the back going forward, and Simmons being fouled, still maintaining possession, but the whistle has been blown. And Brett Smith is to his feet, and he's being assisted over to the bench by women's assistant coach, I believe, in Hank, and Candy, the trainer of the men's soccer team. Seems to have a slight limp as he's being assisted, but hopefully he'll be okay. We will give updates on the conditions of Smith in just a few minutes as soon as we are aware of his conditions. Header won by Gabriel Locher, flicked on by Billy.
Which will be the last play of this game, knowing that it's only 3 seconds remaining.
2, 1. And we have reached halftime here at the Pacer Pit, as your USC Aiken Pacers are 1-0 up against the Flagler Saints. Goal scoring by Nathan Shanko, assisted by center forward Gerald Smalls. We'll be right back after a brief intermission. The Pacer Games is sponsored by Fats Cafe. So we do say go to Fats and enjoy healthy meals. And we'll be right back in just a brief moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to second half action here at the Pacer Pit. Your USC Aiken Pacers leads the Flagler Saints by 2 goals to 1. Ball floated over to Lotcher there, unable to keep it in. And here we see some changes being made. McKinley Blazon entering the game. The entire left side of the field is new. McKinley Blazon entering the game for the first time, and Jordan Missouri, USC Aiken Freshman of the Year last year, is now on the pitch wearing that number 9 that's feared by all competitors. Floated towards Goncalves. Goncalves headed clear. Lotcher unable to get there first.
Coach Aiken just seems to have something up his sleeves here. Changing his whole left side of the pitch. Adjusting, putting Schenko in the midfield.
Nathan Shanko, who is
The goal scorer of today's game.
Great player with the ball at his feet. And here we see Blazon with his first touch, and there goes the first touch of Missouri. Missouri is off and running. Seems to have been fouled, but the foul not given. Advantage seems to have been played despite. And there we see another foul on Simmons. Thought he had received it, but the referee allowing Flagler to implement their forceful game and rugged game. Stone clears the ball away. Headed is Smalls, and I think they have challenged the wrong one, as Smalls is pretty strong. I don't think they'd want to get into a rugged game with Jarrell Smalls. He's very small but very strong. McKinley tries to keep the ball, retained possession, unable to do so. Ball played between the both players of Flagler, and swing and a miss. There we see the Flagler player swinging, missing. I thought he expected Dean Smith to put his foot, but he didn't, and he looked different. Ball thrown into Simmons. Simmons turns, unable to retain possession. Jackie plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper, who boots it one time to the halfway point. That seems to be a foul there on Blazon, and the foul is given for the push on Blazon. Short pass faked. Ball played over, and Weatherman is underneath it. Weatherman with an awful header, almost picked up. Had the opportunity to head the ball back downfield and instead headed the ball for a throw-in. Ball floated in. Bernardini will collect. Bernardini has Missouri to his left and eventually throws the ball to him. Jordan controls. There you see Missouri plays it back to Blazon. Blazon to Smith. Smith turns. Still Smith plays it through for Missouri, and Missouri is off. It's been a while since we have seen these run. Still Missouri with his first shot, and it's a great save, equally met by the goalkeeper of Flagler in that of Lex Craggs. Beautiful save there by Craggs,
who has been working very hard with Velmir, the assistant, which is also the goalkeeper coach.
Velmir has been doing a pretty good job with Craggs, as Craggs was equal to the challenge. And the header.
And the pulling and tussling on Nathan Schenko there. Think he has his jersey ripped. And here goes Andre with the attack down the far side to Nathan
Simmons
Schenko.
to Shanko. And now he's given the free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box. Free kick against Jackie. And Jackie might be booked here for comments made, but the referee will just have a word with him. Referee doing well to keep his cards in his pocket so far. We saw Dave Stone committing a bookable offense in the first half and not booked, as well as Andre Simmons with several petty fouls in the first half and not booked either. So the referee has done a good job in maintaining control of this game without brandishing cautions to the players, allowing the game to go on. The referee has been, with the exception of that penalty call that was not given to the Pacers, the referee has done a pretty good job. Smith takes, and Smith, oh, and that was such a beautiful free kick.
Just a
Even
few meters off
and
the far
even
post there.
Nathan Shanko could have headed that one in if he had stayed right by the back post. And that free kick dipped. That free kick did so many things, Wayne.
Most definitely. Real skillful free kick
Yeah,
take of Dean Smith there.
yeah, that free kick zigged. Went up, went down, went left, went right.
Just barely missed the far post.
Beautiful footwork there by number 8. Tried to play over, and Goncalves will boot the ball into the bench of the Flagler Saints. Ball played to Simmons. Simmons will try to break free. Plays the ball square to
Just
Jordan, Missouri.
he has so many speed in the tank. He
Yeah.
couldn't even pulled up to recover on that ball.
That's like having a Toyota brakes on a Ferrari, as he was going too fast, unable to turn back. Toyotas are a great car though, but Ferraris are more expensive. Corner kick to the Saints.
As Flagler coach here has a word with the assistant referee. Just a few friendly words. And here's a corner kick by the Saints.
Oh.
And cleared by Lutcher. And now recovered by USC Aiken goalkeeper. And now picked up in the middle of the field by Dean Smith. Back to Rodrigo. And the long ball to Drill Smalls as he chases. And here's a throw in made by number 5. Given to the USC Aiken.
And we do apologize to the viewers, Wayne, as we were experiencing bad feed, and it's now fixed, so we're back in live play. Simmons tries to go past the defender, unable to do so. Flicks on, but only as far as Smith. Smith and Stone. Oh, and well done by Smith. Smith plays it over to Lutcher. And still, Lutcher trying to get around his defender, unable to do so. The ball went out for a throw-in. And how influential has Goncalves been? Lutcher turns. Ball only as far as Goncalves through the legs. And a throw into Goncalves again. And this player has added so much to this USC Aiken team. And here we see the Saints defending a lot more than usual, as the threat of Missouri has now entered the field. Simmons to take this free kick, or this corner kick. Ball floated in. And Dean Smith almost, and Missouri almost as well, blazing all the way back to Weatherman. Weatherman to float it in. And unaware there was the Flagler defender. Weatherman there losing out. And Dave Stone doing pretty good. And there we see the speed of Dave Stone. Weatherman there bodied off the ball despite his large frame. Ball thrown to number 19. Squares it in. Stone. And that's the presence of Stone. And Dean Smith, there we see Dean Smith against Marcus. Still Lotcher, still Lotcher losing out. Flagler will charge as he comes against Goncalves, and Goncalves, they're doing well, eventually playing the ball out of the number 7. And there we see Goncalves defending very smartly. Goncalves to throw this one in. Long throw to Smalls. Smalls controls. Still Smalls. Smalls to Lotcher into space. Lotcher against number 13. Still Lotcher. And the square deflected. And it's another corner kick here for the Pacers. If you're just joining us, just under 35 minutes left in this game. The USC Aiken Pacers lead 1-0 against the Flagler Saints. Bernardini jogging over to take this corner kick. Not Bernardini, I stand corrected. Simmons jogs over to take this corner kick. Floated in, lower, missed by everyone, eventually away. Goncalves being chased by number 14. I believe he'll turn him, and rightfully he does so, and is tumbled over. No foul there given to Goncalves, despite protests, and that's how the game rectifies itself. The Flagler players plays the ball out for a throw-in to the Pacers. Missouri turns, plays the ball to Simmons. Simmons drives, still Simmons through the legs, and Simmons having a field day out there. Simmons teaching the defenders of Flagler a thing or two about how skillful he is. Ball to be thrown into Simmons. Eventually headed back to Blazin. Blazin tries to cut. Eventually retrieves the ball. Blazin drives to the corner flag. And no foul given. The referee is allowing Flagler to commit foul after foul without being penalized. And it's a matter of time before the Pacers retaliate through frustration if they are not able to keep themselves composed. Header won by the number 19 of the Saints. And the ball eventually goes out for a throw-in. Ball to be thrown in by Goncalves. Ball thrown in, but unable to reach its target. Lotcher, I don't think he'll be able to keep this one in. And the ball does go out for a throw-in to the Saints. The Saints throw this one in. And there we see a beautiful turn by Smalls. Smalls shoots from way out instead of dribbling down on the goalkeeper. Not a bad try by Smalls, but in the end it went harmlessly high and wide. He had acres of space, but lacking the speed, he decided to go for the spectacular shot from 30 yards out. With just over 30 minutes to play, the Saints are trailing the Pacers by 1-0. The Pacers are more fluent with their play, but they are yet to put this game away. And if Flagler gets a goal, then it will be back to square one for the Pacers trying to win this game. There we see the Saints in the middle of the park with the ball. To the far side, Goncalves comes and intercepts, plays the ball out for a throw-in.
Goncalves' tackle seems to be real timely. Never rush, but always perfectly on time.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate, very skillful player, so he anticipates what his opponents will do and reads them well most of the times. And a throw-in given to Flagler despite being kicked off the Flagler player. Oh, and there's a foul. Advantage not given to the Pacers. If the player is not booked, then that would be and the first caution of the game going to the captain, Jackie, of the Saints. Bernardini to take this free kick. Launched into space towards Simmons. Simmons challenged by Jackie. Jackie won. And it's a throw-in. Throw-in towards Smalls. Smalls, still Smalls. And Lotcher who wind up to take Lotcher. Still Lotcher. And brought to his Shanko. Still Shanko. And that's no foul, says the referee. And rightfully said. Number 19 races forward. Dean Smith tries to recover. And there we see the number 14 running into problems and eventually being cleared by Dean Smith for a throw-in. Number 13 to take this free kick.
Throw-in perhaps. That's a great play by number 23 there while he's trying to sneak in a play towards goal.
And there we see Bernardini being called upon as complacency has set in here at the Pacer pit. The USC Aiken Pacers being very complacent. And there we see the short corner probably being played or probably not. Nathan Shanko not needed to double. And the aerial advantages to the Flagler Saints as they have height over the Pacers. Bernardini will have to help his defenders out. Ball comes in, Bernardini claims. Ball falls to Marco and eventually cleared. And Smalls will give chase. Ball eventually played in. Bernardini punches away. And offside call.
From that last save there, Velmir also applaud our goalkeeper for a brilliant save, which he knows a lot about goalkeeping. Actually, he is my former teammate who we played in junior college together, and he was my goalkeeper at that time. Went on to be a coach, doing marvelous job of what he's good at.
Not a very good free kick there by the other player, the player that was just applauded by Velmir in Bernardini. Missouri chasing. McKinley intercepts but received again, retrieved. There you see Stone, and that presence of Stone with his speed, he's everywhere. And that must have been and the foul is eventually given, or the throwing is given against the Pacers. Smalls would have been in acres of space, and it is a free kick. I stand corrected. The referee signaling that the free kick is to the Saints to be floated in. All players going inside. Ball floated towards the back post. Goncalves, no one headed it, so it's a Aiken throwing. Ball to be thrown in by Goncalves. Ball thrown into Locho. Locho tries to head it, but lost out to number 13. Still fighting is Locho with number 13. Number 13 does well, skips past Locho. Unable to, oh, and there goes number 23 with that fancy footwork. Stops in his tracks by the bigger Weatherman. and Weatherman is unable to keep the ball into play. And Dave and Dean Smith there with a very acrobatic, and Weatherman showing that he's the tallest player on the field. And I'm not sure what the referee saw there, and that's a free kick given.
Saints coach seems to be very frustrated on the referees' few last choices.
Yeah, but that was no foul as far as I saw. That was, if anything, a foul on Weatherman, which could not have been a foul, as he was the one who ran through to head the ball. So I saw no foul there. But
But at this point, the Saints will be awarded a free kick
that is true at the
on
end of
top
the
of
day.
the 18-yard box.
Let's see if they have anyone to test the goalkeeper here. Pretty unusual. The centre back, Patrick Weatherman, is currently in the wall. And going to defend is Andre Simmons. Let's see. And not a very bad free kick, but it goes over the top for a goal kick to the Pacers. Bernardini was not called upon to make another miraculous save. And if you're just joining us, folks, it's USC Aiken Pacers 1, Flagler 0, with just under 25 minutes to play. Ball booted this time by Bernardini, finding his namesake, Andre Simmons. Ball eventually going out for a throw.
Against the Pacers.
Throwing taken to number 19. Ball played inside. Number 8 will control, try to play it into space, but blocked by Smith. Stone will come in and Stone will clear, not high enough. And a handball there given in the middle of the Pacers half on the far side for an handball on a Flagler player. And there we see Brett Smith bandaged. He seems to be in a little discomfort, but he seems to be doing a little bit of exercise. Or stretches. Blazing to take the throw. Finds Smalls. Still Smalls. Juggling. 2, 3, 4, 5. Still Smalls. Smalls seems to have been pulled down, and the foul again not given. Said to get up by the Flagler centre back. And the USC Aiken Pacers.
There goes Stone with
And
his
there we
speed
see Stone
once
again. And the ball played out there. Easy ball there for the centre back of the Saints. Playing the ball out of touch. Throwing further down the field for Goncalves.
As Stone here, centre back looking very comfortable.
He seems to want a newspaper and a pipe at the moment.
No
With
pressure from the Saints at this moment.
his arms folded with one of his hands on his chin. Corner kick to be taken by Simmons. Simmons floats it in. Shanko goes up, and so does Missouri. Ball on the goal line. Unable to, and eventually cleared. And Stone and Goncalves going to the same ball. Beautiful ball into Locher from Stone. Simmons. Locher to Simmons. Simmons does well. Tries to go past his defender, unable to go around him. And beautifully defended there by the defenders. of the Saints. Stumble there in the middle of the park by number 14, who eventually plays the ball out for a throw. And that was, that was something he was being. I have no idea what to say
That's
about
a
that.
questionable call right there.
He was initially tugged, but there's no way I'd see that as a free kick. But I guess no advantage to the team. And then shot floated, collected
Easily.
calmly by Bernardini. Bernardini looking for options, being scouting out his area, seeing if he's able to drop the ball or not. Sees there's a Flagler Saints player coming, clears the ball towards Missouri. B- Ball booted out for a throw-in for the Pacers. Skipped by Simmons. Simmons with a 1-2 pass to Missouri. Simmons unable to latch on to that pass.
As Coach Lynch here seems to be giving a lot of specific instruction to number 10, Johnny Cosgrove, as he will soon enter the field for number 5, Kevin Matthews, Kieran Matthews.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent player, Johnny. And then that's unusual. Aerial challenge by the shortest man on the pitch being penalized. That's not something you'll see every day. He is half the size of some of the players on the pitch.
He has been very standout throughout this whole 80 minutes of this game.
Simmons to take this free kick. Aiming for Locho. Ball goes towards Locho. 1. There we see Gerald Smalls being strong on the ball. Still Smalls to Locho. Locho back to Smalls. And Locho Smalls tries to cut the ball back, but the ball goes out. Goal kick taken towards Dean Smith. Seemed to be wrestling. Jackie to boot the ball downfield towards Johnny. Weatherman winning that aerial challenge. Ball cut back and beautiful tackle there. And there we see Gabriel Lotra going to floor, stretching his hamstring.
As the trainer will now enter the pitch.
Yeah, there we see Candy again.
Assistance to Gabriel.
And a lot of players are down stretching their hamstrings. It seems to be a very intense game. The field might not be as dry as it looks, as this pitch has encountered rain, a lot of rain over the past several days.
And for all the viewers who are not South Carolina residents, there has been a lot of flood. Luckily, the weather has turned around significantly.
Yeah, gratefully the weather has improved somewhat, as unfortunately a lot of people have lost their homes or have had their homes damaged. Roads have been damaged and canals have overflown their banks. And we do send our condolences out to everyone with losses within the South Carolina, North Carolina region. Here we see Bernardini with a little bit of time wasting tactics. That's not favored by head coach Aiko Foji. Eventually booted into play. The Saints lead with another charge. Ball won there by Simmons. Simmons seems to be tugged back. No foul given. Ball beautifully played back to Simmons from Missouri. Simmons surges forward. Simmons plays Missouri. Missouri seems to be in but carried the ball a little far wide. Missouri on the ball. Still Missouri cuts inside, shoots, and easily collected there by the goalkeeper. Craggs in goal. Ball played. Weatherman losing out. And there's a foul. And that was definitely a foul there on number 10. Oh, snaps. And number 20 there taken out. And that's definitely, that's 2 fouls there. That was blatant. And that's definitely cautionable offense, but the referee.
As we know, Rodrigo just recently came back from an injury. A broken toe, I think. As he hold his shoe, a possibly ache to that injury.
Yeah, let's hope that Goncalves is okay and would be able to continue.
Coach Ike here seems to be giving him a rest so he could take a closer look at it.
And number 19 there, but that, to be honest, is the fault of the referee, as he allowed play to continue and not call the first initial foul. And there we see the quickness of Jordan Missouri. Ball being played back into play. And Dave Stone, ball played off Dave Stone, cuts inside and on top, and that will come to, and still Warner skips pass, tries to float the ball off his own player, eventually booted clear towards Gerald Smalls, takes it under control, Smalls turn, Smalls to Shanko, Shanko goes inside, well done there by Shanko, Shanko surges forward, tries to find Missouri, he does, skips it for,
which we see is a very bad call here by the linesman, as Andre Simmons was clearly not offside.
and there we see Jordan Missouri being offside but did not touch the ball, and the refereeing has moved from being acceptable to not that good. It's not horrible, but it still should be a lot better, as that was clearly skipped by Jordan Missouri. He did not interfere with play, as the ball went to him last and he let it run by him, so that's definitely not offside, as he made no effort to play the ball. And there we see a kick to the face of Dean Smith and the foul given. This referee is allowing the ball game to get out of hand, and cautions need to be issued to keep the plays. Ball played in and ball played over. And what a save that was by Bernardini. And that was an miraculous save again by Bernardini. That, my friends, is how you earn your stay between the pipes off a goal post. Bernardini there with a spectacular save. I'm not sure how he did it, but the ball certainly did not end up in the back of the net. And it remains USC Aiken 1, Flagler 0. Sandre Duncan getting ready to enter the park for USC Aiken. And so is number 9 and number 12 of Flagler. Long throw again, flicked on, dealt with by Dalmau, but still in the air. Headed up, and Bernardini will claim. And that, my friends, there we see the coach of Flagler with a small smirk as he's in disbelief at what just took place. And that, my friends, was spectacular, as that will be one for the highlights. Wassop comes in, cleans up. Missouri losing out in that 60-40 contest, as he was always at a disadvantage. Bernardini will take. Bernardini looks, sees no one, so he holds his punt.
He's really taking composure of the whole 18-yard box at this moment.
Yeah, with just over 12 minutes remaining, it's pretty intense here as Flagler tries to get a foothold back into this one. And USC Aiken trying to secure another goal to ensure the victory and secure their first 3 points. The game is on, folks, here at the Pacer Pit. Pretty exciting battle here as USC Aiken Pacers take on the Flagler Saints. Patrick Weatherman replaced by Sanjay Duncan. Ball played into Missouri. Missouri being definitely, and that's, my friends, is Dave Stone. Ball being won by Adria Dalmau. Shenko to Shanko unable to play the ball down the line to Smalls. Sanjay Duncan with his first touch of the ball plays it out for a goal kick, or not a goal kick, a throw into the Flagler Saints. There we see Gerald Smalls tracking back, helping out his defense. Long throw again, I suppose, by the Flagler Saints. Ball instead thrown back to Jackie, the captain. He floats it in, and Bernardini will collect. And Missouri breaks, so does Simmons. Simmons tries to get there before number 2, and the ball beats him, and Simmons is off and running. Simmons will go by himself, cuts the ball back, comes inside. Simmons, still Simmons, floats it to the far post where Smalls is. Smalls unable to keep the ball in, and that was a good counter-attacking play that started with the goalkeeper, Andre Bernardini, to his namesake, Andre Simmons, who tried to find the final pass to Jarrell Smalls, but was unable to do so. And good counter-attacking play there by the Pacers. We see the quickness of the Pacers on that counter-attack with just over 10 minutes remaining. It's pretty intense here, folks. And the ball is booted away by McKinley Blazin. Throw in to number 13. Cleared by Stones. Smalls to give chase. Smalls allowing them to play within their own half. Jackie will boot the ball high towards Duncan. Duncan played the ball out for a throw-in again. Not bad, but the clearance should have been further outfield. Sanjay Duncan trying to get back on his feet to where he was last season, as he is recovering from an injury as well. There we see Blazin and Duncan doubling up. Bernardini will collect, and Missouri is off, but being covered by 2 players of the Flagler Saints. And here we see Sajid Dachum and Billy Johns to enter the field. And that is not the pass that Warren would have pictured in his mind. And here we see Dachum and Johns entering the field for Shanko and Smalls with just over 8 minutes remaining. It's pretty entertaining here, folks. Gerald Smalls jogs off. And it's moved from hot to cold, folks. As here in the stands, we have moved from sweating to chills. Ball won by the smallest man on the field. And header won by Duncan. Ball played in and over the bar by number 12, and it will be a goal kick to Bernardini. Bernardini will take his time and take this goal kick with the 1 goal advantage. Ball into play, flicked on. Beautiful control there by Simmons. Simmons tries to flick the ball over number 18's head, unable to do so. And there we see Wassop comes in, held by Stone. Ball eventually goes out for a throw-in for the Saints. Ball header won by Wassop. Ball eventually going out for a throw-in for the USC Aiken Pacers of the Saints defender. Wassop with the long throw towards John. Ball eventually won and booted clear. McKinley does well, and ball back to Warren. Ball being cleared and blazing there with the intended forward pass for Dachum. Eventually the ball fell behind him. Dalmau there, still Dalmau, won by, and a foul called on number 19. From foul call on Adja Dalmau on number 19. Quick free kick, unable to be taken. This because the free kick was taken between 5 and 10 yards ahead of where it should have been. Saji beaten by number 13, ball floating in. Dave Stone to deal with it. Then McKinley blazing to clean up. John towards Dachum. Dachum will run. And Dachum will go down the line. Dachum, still Dachum. Dachum plays to Simmons. Simmons turns well, and Simmons is fouled. And Simmons there with the spin move that left his defender dizzy. And his defender eventually putting him on the floor. And the USC Aiken Pacers will have at least 30 seconds to prepare for this free kick. We have seen Dean Smith with a spectacular free kick earlier in the first half. And now we see both himself and Simmons, who are pretty spectacular dead ball specialists. Dean Smith has the power, so I suspect that he'll be the one taking this one over the precision of Simmons, but it seems to be Simmons. Simmons does take, and the ball goes harmlessly wide over the goal, and it's a goal kick to the Flagler Saints. Being rattled on, it's 30 seconds left. Not 30 seconds, under 5 minutes left in this game. Ball booted. Billy giving chase to Jackie. Billy working hard. Ball slicing off. Dachum to go forward. Still Dachum. Still Dachum. Ball eventually falling to Adjo. Adjo will find Missouri. Missouri will control. Missouri will run at his defender now for sure. Still Missouri. Still Missouri. Still Missouri. Still Missouri. Missouri shoots. And the goalkeeper again is there as Missouri ran rings around his defenders. Simmons will win. And that's definitely not a free kick, folks. And the free kick goes against Simmons. Warren's small frame to his advantage there. And Billy will work hard. The ball floated over, and it's a goal kick. And again, we see the gods of football, as it would be said, ensuring that the Pacers get their ball back, as that was not a foul committed by Simmons. He simply is just bigger than Warren is. Header won by the Saints, eventually recovered by Simmons. Simmons drives forward, still Simmons. Simmons being chased by Warren. Simmons on his left. Simmons, still Simmons inside the 18-yard box. Simmons, still Simmons. Simmons turns, chips it, and into, and off the post, and it still remains USC Aiken 1, Flagler 0, as that grazed the post on the near side of the field, and Simmons very unlucky there. Just walking past defenders. Just under 3 minutes here, folks. It's pretty exciting here at the Pacer Pit. Dalmau with the header. Dean Smith losing out there on that battle, but well done by Wassop. And now Dean Smith will break. Dean Smith, still Dean Smith. He should have played the ball there to Jordan, Missouri, but decided not to. And Duncan there. Oh. And there's no way, my friends, that is a foul, as he simply put his head where his head should not be.
And the fact that he's already short.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty
he's
low.
half the size of Duncan. The play should be called back to protect the player, but that definitely was not a foul, as he put his head near where Duncan's knee was. And Duncan will be yellow carded.
And I guess that's for walking towards the ball. I guess in the referee eyes is the lane of play. While there's only 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock.
Flagler Saints here with a pretty good chance to test Bernardini from the dead ball. Let's see what they have. And who will take? Seems to be a short free kick. Playing out wide, played swing in and harmlessly wide. That seems to be something that has been practiced frequently by the Saints. Something that was done on the training ground. And the final product was not the result they would have wanted. With just under 2 minutes, the score remains USC Aiken 1, Flagler 0. Blazing clears, but only as far. Blazing does well. Daychum is unable to get there. And the Saints are applying the pressure on the Pacers now. And there could have been a foul there. And there's no way that's a foul for, that's a throw-in for.
And Andre Simmons is given a yellow card.
And Simmons there you see the frustrations when the officials aren't officiating or maintaining control of the game, as that was clearly a throw-in for the Pacers and given away or given to. Well done by Bernardini. Bernardini with a quick throw-in to, and Johns, I have no idea what he just did, but he left the ball for his senior in Jordan, Missouri. And I'm sure McKinley Blazin will try to get this ball away. He dribbles it out, and Sajid Daychum clears the ball towards Billy Johns, and it's a throw-in for the Pacers with just over 35 seconds, just over 30, under 30 now. McKinley will take, I'm sure he will not rush, and he'll throw this one long towards Billy Johns. And the free kick there won by Simmons, smartly done, and USC Aiken will surely take the 3 points here against the Flagler Saints as time will run down. And Simmons will chip this one in, and it's booted away, and the game is now finished, folks, and at the end of 90 minutes, USC Aiken has clinched this one 1-0 against the Flagler Saints, and we thank everyone for tuning in and watching the live feed from the Pacer Pit. It's been a pretty exciting one today, folks, and your USC Aiken Pacers have their first 3 points in the conference regular season. We hope that they can continue on this trend. And thanks again for joining. I'm Noel Mays, joined here by Wayne Ford Purdy. We wish you all a beautiful night, and we ask that all our patrons drive safe and have a safe one home. Until next time, good night.
And the final score once again is USC Aiken 1 and Flagler 0.